Hello and welcome to another Just Wing It podcast. We are still inside the wrestling business and we are talking about another person inside the young ones of the wXw. Today our guest is Sara Leon. Before we start, some notes to our today's guest. Perhaps you know Sara Leon is a wrestler from Spain and still living in Spain. Like she told me before, her English is not the best, so it's possible similar to mine English. So we both are trying our very best to give you a good podcast. I hope you have some fun and enjoy our podcast in our broken English from two different countries. So let's no longer wait and welcome our guest today. Welcome Sara Leon.
Hi, hello.
Nice to have you here at the Saturday evening. How are you?
Fine, I'm really fine. And you? How you doing?
I'm fine too. Just relaxing at the weekend and talking to some wrestlers from outside Germany. So today we too will talk about your wrestling career to the day we are now. And let's just start with a short introduction of yourself. Let us know, who is Sara Leon?
Okay, Sara Leon is a young woman. Well, I am 23 years old and I'm a Spanish wrestler from Madrid. My company of wrestling is wXw. And now, well, I have practiced wrestling for 4 years old, and now I'm here to talk with you.
Yeah, you have come to my mind to get into a podcast because I saw you at wXw during the shotgun session and during the shortcut to the top. So I thought someone that hasn't been that often in Germany, I guess, or have you been in Germany before the work for wXw?
No, it was my first time.
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the Leon, the lion in your name. How did you get to the lion in your name?
Oh, okay. For me, at the beginning, my name was Sara Leonhardt, because a character of a video game, Final Fantasy VIII. I don't know. Do
Ah,
you?
okay, I know.
Yeah, it's about the character, the the Final Fantasy VIII, Leon Squall. And for me, it's a really good character, and I love the Final Fantasy in general. But um, I have changed my name because I wanted to sound Spanish username, and I love the animal lion because for me it's very strong, and I think it's a smart animal, and for me it was very cute to use the name on the ring. So for me it's perfect.
Yeah, it's nice to see that your name is just connected to your home. Because
Yeah,
in Spanish, Leon, I don't know if I'm spelling it
Leon.
right, is
Yes,
the line in Spanish, and it's really nice to have something like this. So the connection to your home, where you come from.
yes, absolutely.
Let's talk about the way your way to become a wrestler, and let's start really at the beginning. How did you start, or how did you get connected to wrestling in the first place? Did you see it on TV? Have you been to a show? How was your first connection to wrestling?
Um, Actually, it was in Madrid. I remember I was 17 years old. I met someone invite me a live show of so wXw in Madrid. They did free shows in a building of the center of the capital. So I went to see live show with a friend. For me, it was the first live show I have ever been in my life. So for me, it was really special, and it was very important that moment because I don't know, the crowd, the venue, it was really special. I don't have anything else like this. So it like that.
Yeah, it's hard to describe how it's feeling if you have such a crowd around you.
Yeah, it
It's really,
was
yeah.
really amazing for me.
Yeah, I guess. I meant if it's different if you're part of the crowd or if you're a wrestler inside the ring who has to react to the crowd. How is the difference between both of these moments?
Well, for my first time when I was wrestled, of course it was different because I'm really nervous. I was really nervous. That you feel inside of the ring, you feel very powerful or something like that. So it's different because you hear the crowd, you feel your emotion inside yourself.
Okay,
Uh,
I understand what you mean. Um, let's just talk about different way. Do you watch wrestling shows on TV as well, or are just visiting live wrestling?
um, I don't know. I prefer to. Okay, I prefer to see a live show that when when I want to enjoy the show, enjoy the moment with the people, with the wrestler. But when I want to study something indeterminate for my style, or or I know I know how to improve something. Uh, I want to watch matches in on TV or on the computer. I prefer it.
Which kind of matches do you watch? Which promotions do you watch if you want to learn something more and to improve yourself?
Mainly, I try to watch Stardom. I love the style Japanese. Um, I try to well, mm, actually, mm, any independent wrestling matches, of course. WWE, of course, too.
Do you have any favorite wrestler on Stardom or on WWE at the moment?
Yeah. For me, the best is Asuka. I when I was start to watch female wrestling, I love all of the stuff Asuka so much. I love her style, her movement. She's really special on the ring, and I admire her a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, Asuka is a complete wrestler. She's a good character. She's great inside the ring. So I guess it's someone that you can learn. Perhaps you can learn a lot from in the future. Still learn a lot from. So, how did you start your wrestling career? How did you get to your first training?
yeah. Oof. Um, my first training it was very special because I didn't know what happened in in a training wrestling. No, so for me it's really surprise, and I really enjoyed that train. But the next day, I was exhausted. My my whole body, I felt pain in my all over body. But the feeling was really good to do this train.
That's
Yeah.
what everyone tells me who talks about his first or her first training, that
It's re-
it's really hurts after the
yeah.
first training. What
Yes. Yes.
what was the hardest one for you? A lot of people tell me that the learning how to fall and running into the ropes are the hardest parts of the training.
Yeah. The running of the roads. Yeah. It's really difficult at the beginning. It's really difficult and it's hard. So you um after the first training, you have to march of the roads in your body, in your back, and it's really hard. But it's necessary. You learn about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's just steel ropes. It's not that easy like any kind of pillow or something different. So I guess the back is really hurting after that.
Yeah,
So how long are you training till today?
4 years. Yeah,
4 years. When we
yeah.
just talked about when you did start your training. Where did you start your training? What was the first place you started to train?
My first place is it was in Madrid in wXw. WW. It was by Company of Madrid. And my debut it was here.
So that's nice that you have something in your near environment. So you don't have to travel for a long time to get into training, I guess.
Yeah, but well, I don't live in the center of Madrid, so
Ah, okay.
I live in a small town at the it's close to Madrid, but I not live in the center.
How
But yes,
how
how
long do
long?
you need to travel to your training?
Well, I have to take a bus, train, um, on subway, so almost 2 hours,
Oh,
more or less.
that's still a long time to get there. So
And it's good. So
yeah, okay.
my it's my city, so it's my country. So I really appreciate that. So I'm really grateful for this.
Yeah, of course, it's better than traveling to, for example, like at the moment to Germany and to have your training over there. So 2 hours, a little bit shorter than a flight to Germany or train to Germany, I guess.
Hmm.
So, who was your first trainer?
Well, um, actually, many partners in my company, but mainly my trainer was a kid and also Carlos Romo. They are my trainees right now. Yes.
So, A Kid, I guess everybody knows A Kid. Today, he is with NXT UK, I guess.
Yes.
And so, not in that bad spot at the moment at the, now, how is this tournament called? Heritage Cup? Am I
Hmm.
right?
Yes, you're right.
And is he already in the final, or is not? Is it still this semi-final?
Yes. He's in the finals. Yeah.
Ah, great. Okay, so
Yeah.
I've seen A-Kid sometimes, and I have to say it's great how he's working inside the ring. And I guess
Yeah.
he's you have just learned a lot of his work. What is important in the training that you did together? What was your training topics?
Um. mm, well, for me, I think the best important thing I think is the base. So about short wrestling, about grappling, you have to have control your body on the rest bodies or your partners. So for me, is the most important. to this discipline about chains, grappling, suit wrestling for me. So
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the person, I don't know, but for me, it's the best important.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand. So start with the basics, understand the basics, and then you
Yeah.
can improve to
Yes.
any way you want to.
Exactly.
So we talked about your training. What we didn't talk about is how did you ever get into the idea of becoming a wrestler?
Uh, well, this is well, mainly it was because I watched my first live so in Madrid, and for me that day it was very important because when I watched that show, I remember I thought, okay, I have to do that. Why? I don't know. That for that moment, I I practice martial arts. I have um, kid posing Muay Thai. So for me, martial art was really important because I was start to love this sport, this discipline. I discovered something different in myself because that um also I have always been an actress. So for me, it's the combination, is perfect combination for me. So I I can do martial art and I can do performing arts. So for me, it was perfect. So I start love professional wrestling.
Okay. So both sides, the entertainment side and the sportive side, are in your blood.
Yes,
Ah,
I think so.
that's really
It's really,
interesting.
yeah, it's really important for me. I I want to do both things. I want to be an actress. Also, I'm studying performing arts in my school in my city, and I want to be a professional wrestler.
What kind of work do you do as an actress? What kind of shows, of movies, or what are you doing?
Mm, I want to do I don't know. I love cinema. I love films. Um, I don't know. I don't want to close to anything. I want to prove wherever I want in
Okay.
in
Mm-hmm.
any situation.
Mm-hmm. Kind of movies that you prefer to watch, where you could think to start with as an actor?
Um, well, I start to watch uh, kind of movie when I was very young, like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, or any movie about fantasy or
Mm-hmm.
science fiction. For me, is the base of I think it's the base of my culture of
Mm-hmm.
the films. But I don't know. I try to watch every field, every genre of fields, kind of field, because I think it's very important to study any kind of films, any different director
Mm-hmm.
is really important for your career.
Yeah, that fits exactly fits into the wrestling, where you can watch every kind of style and
Yeah,
combine it into your wrestling character and your wrestling work.
yeah,
It's really interesting. So if we wait some time, perhaps we will see Sara Leon in some years in the next Star Wars movies and in
yeah.
our wrestling ring at WWE or Stardom.
I would like to. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, why not? So
Why
that's really interesting. Let's talk
not?
about your wrestling work. Do you remember your first match?
Yes, of course. my favorite match it was in wXw in Madrid, of course. My it was a special match because I didn't know how to react the crowd about me. I was a child when in the first match, and it was against um, a, a wrestler called Jungen, El Verdugo. Um, he he's a big person, a strong person, and it's really scary when he goes out to the ring. So that people at crowd, it was very good for with us. It was really good. They react with very well. I think it was mm, very good for me. It was a really special moment.
Mm-hmm. I understand. What do you think about your first wrestling match? What was it in your feeling? How did you work in this? Were you satisfied with what you did?
Yeah, I remember when the match finished. I remember I feel satisfied with my work. I feel really good with my partner and with me. Yeah.
So that's great. If you remember with the first match to be a good feeling, I guess that's the best way to start your wrestling career.
Yes.
Do you remember any special wrestling matches that you did in the days after your first match or the time after your first match?
At the most special,
Yeah.
um, I think for me it was against a kid. We have a submission match in Madrid with our crown, and it was um, it was really hard for me because he is really good on the ring. Uh, I want to follow uh, to follow him in the ring. I wanted to do my best in that moment, but I was felt real. Do you mean I feel, I don't know, I don't know what to explain
Yeah,
that emotion
no problem.
that I feel. Yes, I feel real. I feel really important, powerful,
Hmm.
strong in that moment with him. Um, he is the best for me, and he was the best with me in that moment. So he was very professional. So I appreciate that moment that much.
That sounds really great. Sounds like you've really enjoyed the match. Perhaps you learned a lot and had a really special moment you both together inside the ring.
Yes,
So that's great. What about your way to wXw? How did you get into connection with wXw?
it was amazing. Really, it was incredible for me. I'm really grateful for that opportunity, really.
And how did you get there? How did you get to Germany to wXw?
What?
How did you get to wXw? How did you get the connection to this promotion?
Yes, I think so. Yes, I want to do that.
How was your first contact with wXw?
Um, my first contact it was in South Can, uh, 2020, in
Hmm.
the shortcut to the top against Kelly Killer.
Hmm.
Uh,
How did it feel to work inside this environment?
It was good. It was really strange because it was associated with for 40 fans in the parliament, but it was really depending. It was really amazing, and it was very important. To work with Kelly, it was amazing. He tried to do the best, and I was trying to do the best too. So
Did you know Kelly before you visited her inside there?
no, no.
Oh, so you get to know each other inside wXw.
Yes, it was the first time for both. Yes.
Oh, that's really interesting. How is it to work with a wrestler for the first time that you perhaps have seen before but never talked to before?
Yes, it's difficult for me for the language. For
Oh, okay.
is the first, yes, it's the first problem for me. But Kelly, it was really good, and I enjoy every single moment with her. So on the rest, well, I think it's depend on the person, but for me the mainly problem is the language because I feel nervous. Um, my insecurities sometimes it's 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 hard, but it's okay. You have to do the best every moment, and you need to improve in in that situation.
Mm.
For that, it's hard, but you try to do your best because you have to do that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
no, there is no excuse. You have to do because it's your work. The language, okay, you have to do improve your skills, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's
It's
not that
like
easy
that.
with the language problem. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm fully understanding this, but because you know, we talked before we started the podcast. You told me, yeah, that English is not the best, and I told you, yes, that's my problem too. Everyone who's listened to us will know, and
Yeah.
will hear it. My English is also not the best, but like I talk to you, I can understand you. You hopefully can mostly understand me, and so we all have to improve. And I guess it's for you inside the ring much more difficult than for me outside the ring to talk to someone because you have to talk in a really short time to clear
Hmm.
what is going on in the next moves.
Mm-hmm.
How can you solve this? Are there some special words that you talk about before the match so you know when to do which move, or how are you going inside the match so there will be no problems? How does it work?
Well, of course, you have to you tell the other person your movement, your ideas about something you want to do, but mainly your movement, you know,
Mm-hmm.
your style. This is the most important when you have to talk with another person you don't know. Um, well, if you have a problem in on the ring in the mat, you have to resolve with I don't know with anything. You is your work.
Yeah.
You try to do something. Um, I don't know. Sometimes you can to to make a mistake
Mm-hmm.
in the mat because it's natural. It's a fight. So people people see and it's okay, it's no problem,
Mm-hmm.
and keep going with the rest, and no matter what happen, you need to keep, continue if you can, of
Yes,
course.
yes. I know. I understand. So a lot of body language, and if there's a problem, just go on. Don't think too lot about it. Move on and work on into the match.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your experience with the shortcut to the top match. Was this your first Battle Royal Rumble match that you were part of?
Yeah, um, it was my first Rumble in Germany,
Ah, okay.
in
Mhm.
in Southcon. Um, I don't know, my feel it was cute for that moment. I think it was funny.
You like Rumble
um,
matches, huh?
Depend all the Rumble
Okay.
that me in that moment. Yes, it was really funny. And I think remember I I don't I didn't nervous, so for me it was easy. No, and for me it was good. Yeah.
So it's important that you liked what you did, and it was a great show. So I guess you did a good work, great work. I saw you inside the Rumble as well, so I watched the show, and I had a lot of fun, like you. And that's, I guess, the most important thing on wrestling. That not just the audience, you as well have fun with what you are doing. And so you had a small feud with Baby Allison after the Rumble match. How was the experience for you to work with Baby Allison?
It was good. So I remember I'm really nervous because in fact it was my first match in the taping. But it was cute. So I really enjoyed the match, and I feel appreciate that moment.
Mhm. It was a short but good match. Maybe I listened to you on the. I guess it was in the mid of the season when we saw the match. And so, no, it was close to the end of the season. There were 6 episodes. So you were on episode 5, like I see at the moment.
Yeah.
Will you be back in Germany with wXw when wXw can return to business?
When?
I'm thinking about, is there any contact at the moment that you have already talked about coming back to Germany
Well,
if they come back?
I would like to do that, of course, but I don't know. The situation in the world about COVID it's bad, and I don't know what happened with the rest
Yeah,
of the series. But yes, I would like to go back, and I appreciate every opportunity for this company. So for me, yes, of course.
I really would like to see you back. So your work inside the ring was really nice to see, and so it would be great to have you back in Germany in the shows that we can see you on wXw and wXw now. So let's talk about what we can do to support you in your wrestling. Is there any kind of merchandise from you that can be bought?
No, for the moment I have nothing merged yet. I
Mhm.
would like to do something in the future, but now I don't have anything. Yeah.
So no problem. We can just look at your Twitter account and something different to follow you and see if you release some merch so we can support you at that moment. And um, and also we can watch you on wXW now and some of your matches on the WWE network so we can see how you're doing. And I hope we will see you back in Germany really soon if we can. So, Sarah, I thank you for this talk. It was really interesting to talk to you about your wrestling career till
Thank
today, and I
thank you so
hope we will see a lot more of you in the future.
much. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate your words. Thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot. So, I wish you a really nice evening, and we will hear, I hope, a lot from you in the future.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye.
See you. Bye.